Hello and welcome. So I'd like to do something a little different again. I have my screen recorder ready here and I'm going to talk about the Google Chrome extensions that I use and that I have. So I don't use all of them particularly often. Some of them I use more than others. But I just want to give some information. Maybe you will find an extension that will seem useful to you. Maybe you'd like to try some of these, so I'm just going to talk about the extensions that I have. So I have quite a few and I've actually had some other ones before, so this address bar here was actually so small because my Chrome was so full of extensions, but I removed some of them, so I don't have as many as I had before. Also, I have some that are currently not visible, so I'll go through these at the end here as well, because I'm going to go through all these in a row, and I'll show you the hidden ones later as well. So the first one I have here is the ad block, which is pretty commonly used. So there's that. I have a power thesaurus, which is very handy. I like it a lot. So it can give meanings of words and synonyms, and so you have synonyms here and you can go to the definition, and I think it's only for English, and you can also highlight a word and click here and then it comes up here, so the definition comes up and the synonyms come up. But if I want something in a foreign language, I have the Google Translate extension here. So Google Translate, so I can translate this current page. I can write a word in here and translate it. I can also open up Google Translate in the big format. If I have like a whole sentence or something, I can look at the whole Google Translate full thing. And also I believe I can use that as well. Well, sometimes it comes up, sometimes it doesn't, sometimes it does. When I highlight something, sometimes it will come up here as well. And this page, just to mention, I have this open because this is my opening page. It's actually to do with an extension, so when I get to that extension, I'll talk about what this is that you're seeing currently. I also have this volume master, which I don't use particularly often because I heard that it might be bad for my computer, but I can basically increase the volume on the browser or decrease it. So if let's say I'm listening to a video and I'm only using my laptop speakers, I don't have access to my big speakers or something, so I'm only using my laptop speakers and it's too quiet, then I can increase it from here. But it might be bad for the computer system because I'm increasing it to further than that is natural for it, I guess, but it's useful at times, so I do like it. Here I have the Spotify player extension. So I'm currently not listening to music, but if I'm listening to music, I can control it from the browser. So it shows one of the previous songs that I've listened to. So I've listened to this song previously, and I can play it here. I can go to the next song. So it's like some of the Spotify controls come up here in the browser, so I don't have to open up Spotify every time. Here I have TubeBuddy, which is very useful for YouTube creators such as myself. So TubeBuddy allows me to just make my thumbnails and look at statistics about my videos and all kinds of things. So I have the extension for that as well. I also have Watch Marker for YouTube, which I got recently, which has to do with so I think back in the old days, YouTube would always show what videos you have already watched on YouTube, but I think they took away that feature. But I started thinking that wouldn't it be nice to have that, because sometimes I will be going through video lists and I'm not sure which ones I've already seen, and this actually allows me to have that feature back. So one thing I don't like about it is that I think it marks a video as watched when I've only watched like a few seconds or half of it, but it still makes it easier to know which ones I've already watched. I do wish there was an option for it to only show me the ones that I've watched in full, so that I will know which ones I'll watch in full, and if there's one that I would like to continue or something, but it doesn't do that. So I think it just marks it when I have watched even a little bit, but it's still good. So this, it says do not disturb because I have it on mute, but it's emails. So I have my Gmail accounts here, and I can check my emails in my browser. It's very, very useful. I use it almost daily. Wikipedia anywhere. So I don't use this particularly often because I do have a Wikipedia app on my laptop as well, and I use it on my browser, just, wikipedia.com or whatever it is. Is it .com? Is it .org? Whichever one it is. But this is handy in that I could highlight something. So if you look here, so if I highlight a word, it comes up. I have it set that it comes up, so I could go to Wikipedia like this, and I can highlight, and then the Wikipedia article comes up. So this is the coral article because I highlighted coral, and I could look up the article through the browser. So there's that. And this is the Amazon assistant, so I can check my orders and things like that. Can be very useful. It's just a quick way to go to Amazon. This I like as well a lot. This is really handy for me. This is the Viva highlighter for PDF and web. So what that does is, sometimes I'm reading an article and I might be going somewhere for a bit, and I'll be coming back to read it, to continue reading it soon, but I want to remember where I finished, where I have to continue. So like I can highlight text, and there's various colors that I can choose from, and then it highlights it like this, and I can come back and see, oh, this is where I have to continue, and I can take it off by clicking on the color and the X. So that's what that is. It's very, very useful for me. It's like a bookmark. Now what's next? So this is the dark reader. So I don't use this particularly often, but sometimes it's useful. So I can turn on dark mode. So if you see here, this is off and this is on. So this changed, and it is easier on the eyes in the evenings sometimes. And I can change the contrast and the brightness and all kinds of things. I'll just turn it off again. Here I have tab for a cause. So this is what I'm using right now. This is what you're seeing here. So when I open up my browser, it basically, for every tab that I have opened, I collect these hearts, and I can basically donate based on the hearts. So these are the different charities that I can choose from, and I can choose how many hearts I donate each time. So I've donated to most of these. So there's that. I think they've taken some of them away. There's some that I don't see right now. There's one that I liked a lot that doesn't seem to be here right now, but I was talking about this one. I do like this one. Give directly. So it allows poor families to decide for themselves what they need most. So I can donate, and so I donated all the hearts right now, but I could choose a certain number of hearts and donate just that amount. But at the moment I just donated all the 120 hearts, and so they choose whatever amount of hearts people are donating. That's how much money, I guess, or like that's related to the money that they're going to raise. So it's like I'm giving incentive for money to be raised for that charity just by opening tabs. And this is Pocket. So you may have heard of this. So this is very handy. It's like bookmarks, and I can save stories and articles into my Pocket and have categories. I have all kinds of articles in there. It's kind of like having a bookmark section, but it's just organized a little differently. So I like using that as well. I also like using the reading list. So basically my rule kind of is that if it's a website that I might be going to often, then I just bookmark it. If it's something that I've read that was interesting that I would maybe like to read again, but maybe not particularly often, I put it into Pocket. And reading list is mostly for things that, for me, it's mostly for things that I might just want to read later. So it's like my read later place in my Chrome. And then I kind of, so this is much shorter. So as I'm finished the articles, I get rid of them from here. So it's kind of like my read later thing. So we're nearly done. So this is another very handy extension. So this is the Noteboard sticky notes app. So what that does is, again, it's kind of like the highlighter that it gives me help in terms of knowing where to continue. So I can put a note on the website. So for example, there's different colors and different things that you can do. So I could put like continue reading here, or continue reading in paragraph 2, let's say, and I click accept, and then here it is. So I can put that on a page, and it comes up every time I go to that website until I get rid of it, so until I delete it. So that is something that I use a lot. And site blocker, if I want a break from a site, I can use the site blocker and put a password on it so it's harder to access the site. I don't care about cookies, so this was basically just me being a little bit sick of having to click about the messages that we get about whether you accept the cookies or not. Maybe I should be a bit more mindful with that and not accept cookies, but I believe this accepts the cookies automatically, so I don't get those texts at the bottom of the page every time. So it just accepts the cookies for me without the text at the bottom of the page coming up, which was just a nuisance for me, but maybe I should be more mindful about it. And these are the blue ones are the ones that I have pinned, and so there's some unpinned ones here, like the song finders. So I never used this, so I just unpinned it, but I didn't delete it because it might come in handy sometimes. So if there's a song playing in the browser, I can use this and it will hopefully tell me, like Shazam, it tells me what the song is. Netflix parties, now Teleparty. I've never used this either, but I did go to it to check it out. So it's basically you can watch Netflix together with people and chat with someone at the same time, which sounds fun. A picture-in-picture extension by Google is also unpinned. So this is basically, I could have like a video playing or a website like in another window on this window. Like I could have a video from YouTube here, smaller, like on this page at the same time as me browsing another page. And then there's Giphy, so there's GIFs, using GIFs. And remove most visited pages. That's just for Google, which I used to use. Right now it's just unpinned, but I still use it. So it gets rid of those pages. When you go to Google, it shows you what you most visited, and I didn't like that, so I just used this extension to not show those pages that I've most visited. And if I go to my reading list, let's see what we have. So I'm learning Italian right now. So I have some Italian articles that I want to go to. I'm also learning tarot, practicing tarot. So there's some tarot articles in my reading list. And there's a few other things, but the screen recorder, I don't have it set in such a way that I could show you what's at the bottom here, but I do have some things that I want to learn about in the reading list. So I hope you found this interesting. Maybe there was an extension or two that you find particularly interesting. Maybe you'd like to check out some of these extensions. I do recommend most of these. I do use most of these at least sometimes. So thank you so much for watching. If you'd like a tarot reading or an astrology reading, because I do that, you can message me at mattothinks@gmail.com, and keep watching and stay cool.